delegates for Hillary for America, Ferrera and Amber Tamblyn.
Southern Nevada. Woo! It's so good to be back. I was here in February with Voto Latino. You guys have been engaged and energized in this election from the very beginning. And Amber and I are here today, even though you might recognize us on television or some movies. That's not what we're standing here as actors or celebrities. We're standing here as Americans, as people who have a lot to lose or a lot to gain in this election. This election, as you all know, and especially here in Nevada, is not just about who's at the top of the ticket. It's not just about Hillary versus Trump, although we know the importance of that decision. Here in Nevada, you guys have the opportunity to keep Senator Reed's seat blue by electing Catherine Cortez Masto and by sending Ruben Kuen to Congress. Yes! Because if we've learned anything in the last 8 years, it's that no president can do anything alone. We need a Congress that can work with our president and who doesn't refuse to do their job. So it's up to us to hold them accountable. This election is also not just about the next 4 years or the next 8 years. The next president could appoint up to 3 Supreme Court justices. That means that this election is about the rest of our lifetime. It's about a woman's right to choose. It's about overturning Citizens United. It's about climate change. It's about LGBTQ rights. And it's about immigration reform. And no state knows, like Nevada knows, the impact of comprehensive immigration reform. Nevada alone stands to gain billions by us passing comprehensive immigration reform. And Nevada stands to be devastated economically if we followed a Trump immigration policy. And it's not just about the economy, it's about human dignity and decency. Yes. I just met a wonderful undocumented dreamer who I know there are so many of right here at the College of Southern Nevada. And her name just happened to be America, which I like very much. And she shared with me, as have so many undocumented dreamers, about what's at stake for them and for their families. And this election has not only dehumanized immigrants, it has made us unsafe. Hate crimes are on the rise because of words. Words are things, and they are attacking not just immigrants, women, Black people, Muslim people, LGBT, disabled, veterans. We have been attacked in this election, and on November 8th, we are either going to accept the hate and the racism and the misogyny, or we are going to wholesale reject it and say that this is not the America we know. Our identity, our dignity, and the lives of millions of Americans depend on what happens on November 8th. And if you think your vote doesn't matter, then ask yourself why there are so many efforts to suppress your vote. There is a lot of misinformation happening around the country and here in Nevada. Yes. Misinformation and intimidation meant to keep you from using your voice. But you should know, and you should spend the next 48 hours letting everybody know that here in Nevada, everyone has the right to take time off of work to vote. that you don't need an ID to vote in Nevada, and that if you get in line before 7 p.m., you can vote. And also, as importantly, that your vote is confidential. We've heard really disturbing reports about employers intimidating employees, people feeling like someone's keeping tabs on who I'm voting for and there will be retribution. That is a lie. That is a tactic to keep us from using our voice, and we need to make sure that those who don't have the information get it. And that is your role, your job here in Nevada, to empower your community to get out and not cower in the face of such horrible attacks on our democracy. I have to admit, and I don't think I'm alone in this election has been really, really painful at times. But you know what it's done? It has forced me and all of us to decide what we believe in and to stand strong in the face of such hate, in the face of attacks on our goodness, on our American ideals. And what this moment is calling for us to do is to show up.
Yes.
Show up for ourselves, show up for each other, and show up for this country. There is no sitting it out in this fight. Let's wake up on November 9th in an America that we love. In an America that we're proud to call home. Let's silence the hate by going to the polls and by encouraging every last person you come across in the next 48 hours to go and vote Hillary Clinton as the next president of the United States.
Who here is excited to hear Bernie Sanders speak? Me too. My husband, David Cross, who's a very funny, bald comedian, loves Bernie, and we both love him so much, and I want to remind all of you here who also love him, this is a man who has stood by his beliefs for decades. And I want to remind you, if you have friends that refuse to vote in this election and see how important this specific election is, I want you to ask them if Bernie Sanders has ever, once in his entire life, his entire career, stood behind something he didn't believe in, ever. He's never done that. He stands behind Hillary Clinton. He is voting for Hillary Clinton. We are all voting for Hillary Clinton because we know what's at stake. We also know that they worked together to create an amazing platform, progressive platform going forward. What you see that Hillary Clinton is going to deliver is part of Bernie Sanders and everything that he stands for. This is such a beautiful collaboration between two of the most empowered politicians and people that we have representing us today. So I want to remind your friends of what America said, that this is beyond 4 years or 8 years. This is going to go on for decades and decades. The Supreme Court justices, we've been sitting for almost a year without a Supreme Court justice. They have just been rejecting it and stalling it over and over. That must end. The best thing you can do in a state like Nevada, this state will decide the election. This is one of the biggest swing states in the entire country. We give a lot of speeches in different states, but I can say that about this state more than almost every other one. This will decide the election. This will decide the fate of the country going forward. And each and every one of you, imagine if everyone here took 2 or 3 friends and took them to the polls and voted. Now imagine different cities, different counties that did that. How many people we can get to show up and send a message. So I am encouraging you to keep fighting. There's a little bit of time left. That's what we have. And the most important thing you can do to make your voice heard is to show up on that day. Thank you so much for having us here. Show up and vote.